Goody Gameworks. I love them. If you've never heard of them, they used to make Flash games but have since moved on to making games on Steam. If you don't know what Flash games are, then first of all, I feel kinda bad for you, but second of all, they were free web games, which means that they didn't require downloading, that ran on Adobe Flash Player. Eventually, HTML5 took over, and at the end of 2020, Flash no longer worked. There is still a good way to play Flash games, however, at least a good chunk of them. Blue Maximus Flashpoint. While you do need to install it, it has plenty of old Flash games that you can play. Considering the fact that you quite literally cannot play them without it, and that Flashpoint is free, I'd say it's a good install if you want to play Flash games again. But back to Goody Gameworks. While I don't think their games were the most popular, I personally loved them. They have a great pixel art style, the gameplay of most of the games is great, and the music is solid. I could go on and on about plenty of their games, and I might in the future if that's something you'd like to see, but for today, I'd like to focus on the game that started it all for me. Caravan Beast. In Caravan Beast, you play as a guy named Arsh, who wants to become the best Beastmaster. You travel around the region with a team of 1 to 4 beasts, depending on your caravan size, and you need to beat all 4 cities' Beastmasters, foiling assassins along the way. Yes, assassins. Now I know you're probably thinking, this just sounds like a Pokemon ripoff. Well, I can assure you that not every monster catching game is a Pokemon ripoff. Anyways, how about we get into what the beasts are like, eh? There are 3 different classes of beasts: Combatant, Guardian, and Mystic. The main thing that these classes do is determine which egg type you can hatch them from: Striker for Combatant, Shield for Guardian, and Arcane for Mystic, but there's also a rock, paper, scissors mechanic between classes. Combatant beasts do more damage to Guardian beasts, Guardian to Mystic, and Mystic to Combatant. There's also another mechanic that changes slightly based on the beast class, but we'll get to that later. Each class has 3 different beasts, adding up to a total of 9 different beast families. There are 3 different stages to beasts: Baby, Champion, and Legendary. Baby beasts are just that, babies. They're the base forms of beasts that you get right from hatching eggs, and they have a max level and hunger of 10. We'll get into hunger later. You can mutate, essentially evolving beasts by getting them to max level, and then increasing certain stats, the main way being the Desert Gym. Again, getting to that later. Champion beasts have a max level of 25 and hunger of 20, and certain champion beasts can't mutate further. This is because 6 out of 9 beast families have split paths, with 4 of them having one path only reach champion stage. These champion beasts still only have a max level of 25, and so aren't typically very useful. Finally, legendary beasts have a max level of 50 and a max hunger of 30. They're the beasts you typically want to run in the endgame, and with 11 different options you have a pretty good selection. You typically want to have 1 beast of each class with 1 duplicate class on each team. However, it's entirely possible to run a team of all 1 class if you so choose. Now that you have a basic idea what beasts are, let's talk about traveling. Traveling is just that, traveling. Next section. Okay, there's more to it than that. At its core, traveling is how you get from one area to another. There are set paths that you have to follow, and each path takes a certain number of days. For example, it takes 3 days to get from the Beast Academy to Greenleaf City. Each day consists of walking past 3 objects which you can click on for items, such as food, coins, occasionally equipment, and very rarely beast eggs, and ends with a battle with either a wild beast or an enemy beast tamer. If you don't want to fight, you can choose to forfeit, which sends you back to the last city you visited. After each battle, you set up a camp, which is time when you can manage your inventory, hatch eggs, manage your arcana, more on that later, or feed your beasts. Your beasts lose 2 hunger at the end of each day, and once a beast's hunger gets low enough, they'll start the next battle missing some health. There are 4 cities in the game, each containing a market, a beast care, a caravan shop, a desert gym, and a beastmaster. The market is the general goods store, which you can buy and sell food, equipment, and beast eggs. Beast eggs are different because instead of coins, they cost beast souls. You get beast souls by defeating wild beasts. The beast care is where you can store any beasts you aren't using. The caravan store is where, shocker, you upgrade your caravan. Buying upgraded caravans increases the number of beasts you can have and the number of items you can hold, and some give additional effects. For example, my favorite caravan, the Hive, lets you have 4 beasts, hold a max of 55 items, and gives a bonus 200 health to each of your beasts. The Desert Gym is where you can pay to increase your beast's stats beyond what they'd normally have. There are 5 stats you can increase. HP, which increases max health. Big surprise, I know. Attack, which you'll never believe this, increases damage. The next 3 have bonus effects depending on the class of beast. Agility increases movement speed as well as combatant beast attack. Strength increases knockback distance and guardian beast attack. And intelligence increases skill charge rate and mystic beast attack. Each beast also has a main stat that you need to increase to evolve it. Typically this will just be the baby beast's main stat, but when it comes to split evolutions it can change. Let's take Zeal for example. Its main stat is attack. For one path, the main stat is also attack, so that's the stat that you need to increase. For the other path, however, the other stat is strength, so you need to increase that instead. Each stat has a max that it can go, though guardian beasts can have a higher max HP and combatant beasts can have a higher max attack. For each of the other stats, the max is 95 on the wrong class of beast, like agility on a mystic beast, and 125 on the correct class. Before I get into the battle system, I need to explain Arcana. Arcana are essentially abilities that you can use in battles. For example, Fighter Taunt boosts all your beast's attack for 4 seconds. Some Arcana, like Songs of Wind, provide passive effects instead. In this case, it's increasing all your stats. Arcana is unlocked and then upgraded by doing certain things a certain number of times. For example, to level up Heal Pool, you need to feed your beasts. You can have 3 Arcana in battle at a time, though passive Arcana ignore this and can be used regardless. Finally, we get to battles. Battles are fairly simple. Your beasts and the enemy beasts move towards each other and attack automatically. Taking damage charges up their skill, and when fully charged, they unleash it. Each beast falls into a certain attack category, as I'll call it. Melee, ranged, and artillery. These are pretty self-explanatory. Melee needs to be right up close to attack, ranged needs to be a short distance away, and artillery attacks from all the way in the back. You win battles by defeating all the enemy beasts, and lose when all your beasts are defeated. Before I get into why I like the game so much, let's talk about the negatives. Firstly, clicking on objects while traveling requires a lot of clicking to be optimally done since there's no cap to how many times you can click on an object. However, if you use an auto-clicker, do not have it set too fast. Why? Because this can happen. Yeah, if you use an auto-clicker, have it set to about 15 CPS at the highest. There's also quite a bit of backtracking, which without the existence of a fast travel system can be pretty painful. There are some small remedies to this though. If you're currently not traveling from a city, you can forfeit the next fight to be sent back to the last city you were at. There's also a bug where if you quickly pause and unpause after winning a battle, the next travel day will also go by at double speed if you had the battle at double speed. Considering how quick it is to pull off, it saves quite a bit of time. The story and writing is also really mediocre, though you don't normally expect much in that department from Flash games. The game's pretty short, being completable in just a few hours, and while I don't mind that personally, a lot of others might not like it. Well, here we are. Why do I like this game so much? Is it the graphics? Yes. Is it just pure nostalgia? Yes. Is it because I like monster collecting games in general? Most likely. In truth, I can't explain why I like it. For one, I'm bad at explaining my thoughts, but two, because there's not really specific things I can point out about why I like it. Sure, I can talk about how I love the art style to death, Yes, I do like monster collecting games, and yes, there's definitely a bit of a nostalgia factor to it. But bottom line is that it's a lot easier for me to point out the things I don't like about something than the things I do like about something. But I'll try my best, eh? For one thing, there's the beasts themselves. There's not really any designs that I actively dislike. I have gripes with some of them, but nothing too major. It's also definitely a game where once you have your beast maxed out, you can crush things pretty easily. While I do enjoy a challenge, it's also a great feeling to just go around and just feel powerful. Caravan Beast isn't perfect, there's no doubt about that, but despite its flaws, I love the heck out of it. This isn't my favorite game by Gritty Gameworks, though I'll have to leave that one for a future video. Anyways, this is longer than I expected it to be, so I'll leave it here for now. If you enjoyed this video, cool. Glad I could make your day at least a little bit better. Bye.